Morning, everybody. How we doing? Sam here, United People's TV. And I saw your... Good morning, you bloody gorgeous buggers. I just sat there and just said that 3 times before we went live. Well, good morning, everybody. As I said, I've said that 3 times now. Yeah, got lost a little bit there. All right. It's never easy with Man United, is it? Never easy when it comes to transfers. And here we are talking about Jean-Clair Todibo, Manchester United in advanced talks, behind the scenes, but UEFA saying, no, actually, we decided that you can't do that. It's not a new rule, okay? But it's a bogus rule. And it's just, I can't tell you how many times I hate modern football. Every single week, there's something else that makes me disconnect further with my actual genuine enjoyment of football. And here we go again. It's not a rule. It's just something that you need to have expensive lawyers look through every single detail of a contract or a rule until you can find a loophole. That is modern football. It's how much you can spend on getting around these rules. Man City. Man City. Man City. Anyway, good morning. I've said that 5 times now. We'll speak about Todibo. We'll speak about the Euros yesterday. Scott McTominay. We'll speak about the Euros today. Rasmus versus England. I think I want England to win, but if England can win like 3-2 and Rasmus can score 2, that's fine. Just a bit of everything for everyone. We'll then speak in detail about the Jean-Clair Todibo situation. We're going to speak about Jim Ratcliffe's interview. My lunchtime video today is going to be covering that interview in full. So we're not going to be covering too much of it in this because it will be way too much to talk about. We're going to speak about Mason Greenwood to Lazio, 30 million. Edson Alvarez. Anyway, conversation about him, Michael Elise, Jadon Sancho. It's actually going to be quite a busy show. And I could see there. Wow, look at that to kick off today's show. Jeez, that's awesome. 4 of you. JC, Alex, Mania, and Toby. You've now created a new boy band. Or a girl band. All of you together gifting 20 memberships, which means I can play the 20 gong straight away before I even say hello to the mods. That's the community that is. It defies description indeed. Right, who's here from the mod gang? Let's have a look. Good morning to everyone. We've got Vicky, Alex and Carl. Good morning to both of you. Wendy, I saw you there earlier as well. Ant, you're there. Josh, you're there as always. Who else is there? Can't see anyone else down there. From the member gang, it's an army. It's more than an army. Actually, it's the army. It's the Green Army. Well, that's probably something else. Block 119, Skinny G, Chetan, Stevie, Jasper, Stephanie, Ross, Mania, Cromenio, Mark Bishop, Tarikal 54, Dunk, Foxy, and Ryan on Facebook. We've got Tim Elton. Good morning to Tim Elton, Tim Eston, Tim Elston, both. Kieran, good morning to you. Chris Wynn. We've got Mancoba, Francois, and we've got one more. Atta Emmanuel. Good morning to everyone. Right, let's dive into the show. And it's going to be a busy one. As always, please fire in your questions, your comments, anything you want to say in the super chat. You fire all those in. I'll try and answer as much as I can throughout the whole show. I'm pretty sure they gave that goal to Scott McTominay yesterday. Of course, I put 20 quid on McTominay to score any time against Germany, and I forgot to do it in that game against Switzerland. Come on. It's probably why he scored, to be fair. It was definitely his goal. It was going in and it got deflected in. Switzerland, of course, equalised. That goal from Shaqiri. Ooh! Ooh! Man, there have been some good goals scored at Euro so far. Gules, one that he scored for Turkey. Was that again? I think it was against Georgia. And Shaqiri's one was just like, the ball just dropped to him. And it was like, whip right into the postage stamp. Amazing goal. Ooh! Great goal. Anyway, Scotland getting a draw yesterday. I'd say that's them pretty much out. Because I didn't actually watch the Germany-Hungary game. I don't know why. I think that might be the first one I missed. Germany easily breezing past Hungary. Germany look good, man. Germany do look good. Scotland drawn against Switzerland and Croatia-Albania. Man, that game was fun. I think that's what these so many of these Euros games, the group stage games, are playing out almost like quarterfinal games. You know, when it's like full tilt, end-to-end knockout stuff, when you have to get a goal or you're going home and the tournament's over. That's how some of these games are getting played. And Croatia-Albania was just fun. It really, really was. Was it last-minute equaliser from Albania? I mean, that keeps them in it, I think. Daniel saying Scotland beat Hungary and they're through. Does that not go down to goal difference? I've no idea. I've absolutely no idea. But I'm presuming it's down to goal difference. And I'm pretty sure, if we were to look at the table here, one second, let me pull this up. Scotland, Switzerland. Where the table's at? Where the table's at? So does that mean there that it needs to go head-to-head? Oh, it's head-to-head, no goal difference. Ah, that's bad. Well, there you go. Scotland have got a chance then. All you got to do is beat Hungary. Easy. Look at that. Anyway, today, some good games. I'm looking forward to today. Slovenia, Serbia to kick off at 2 p.m. Of course, Denmark against England at 5. I think we saw reports yesterday that Gareth Southgate's naming an unchanged 11. Imagine my surprise. So, whatever, man. Imagine my surprise. I don't think this will help England coming in towards the latter stages, and when we come up against better teams, they will find that space in midfield and they will exploit that space in midfield. I think Foden will be better than he was in the first game. I think Harry Kane will be better than he was in the first game, but his setup and his system doesn't get the most out of the players that he's chosen to put in it. Is the frustration. It's like square pegs, round holes. Oh, that player's so talented, I have to just squeeze him in somehow. No, I don't know. Kev, you're saying the audio issue is back. Dude, I've got no idea what this is. It's so intermittent. It's not there, and then it is there. And they're the worst sort of issues that you can possibly ask for, because it's very hard to identify exactly what is causing the issue. I'll give it all a restart later, and maybe that'll fix it. Sod knows. But it will probably disappear tomorrow, and it will probably come back the next day. No idea. King Crazeman, how you doing, man? It's Hi Sam, finally here live, 5 a.m. Jeez! It's been great to see the increase in quality content. These shows are always a part of my routine. Props from Canada. Big up to you, dude. I was supposed to go to Canada for a big old trip. And then COVID happened. That's what it was. Damn. I was supposed to fly into Vancouver, go to Vancouver Island, then go, I think, up to the Banff region, take like an RV up there for like 3 weeks. Anyway, maybe in the future. Of course, Luke Shaw's not fit to face Denmark. I mean, who could possibly have guessed or seen that coming? Don't know. Well, apparently all of you, the rest of you are saying that the audio is fine. I've got no idea. Someone seems to find problems somewhere. Sam watching from Australia. G'day, mate. I probably hope that wasn't too bad. Anyway. It's just peak United, isn't it? It really is. I saw Todibo as just one of the guaranteed signings this summer. I wasn't really too fussed about the silence around Todibo. I thought it was fine. Manchester United were in prime position to sign him. If we wanted to sign him, and we did want to sign him, it wouldn't be a problem. Lo and behold, it's a problem. Man, there's some big old truck just pulled up outside. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, mate, I'm live. Anyway. That's my reaction to this. It's just, really? Okay, right. So the rule now exists, does it? Oh, that's handy. That's really handy. Let me explain to you what the rule is, all right? It's right down there. Talks were advanced with all parties keen for months, but Nice and Manchester United with the same ownership, playing the same European competition next season, means no green light. So basically, if Manchester United lost the FA Cup final, we'd have Jean-Clair Todibo. Not a problem. Not a problem. And Jim Ratcliffe's not happy about it. As I said, I know that Jim Ratcliffe's done a big interview, but that's going to be my lunchtime video today. There are too many talking points for me to put into this show and speak about all the transfer stuff that I have to speak about. But Jean-Clair? I was about to say Jean-Clair Ratcliffe. We've got a player in Nice who was really interested in joining Manchester United. And I think he has the capability of being a United player. But they've said, UEFA, that we can sell him to another Premier League club, but we can't sell him to United, which is unfair, really. I don't see what it achieves. But here we go with the... And this is... I know hate is a strong word. I understand that. But my disdain towards modern football has been building and bubbling for a good long time. Ever since Abramovich came into Chelsea, that's why I hate Chelsea so much. They are the root. They are the core of it all. It's not to say that it wouldn't have gone down this path anyway, because it probably would have. But Chelsea accelerated it. And then City came in. Well, Abu Dhabi came into City. And then PSG. And everything that's happened since, it's just, it gets worse and worse and worse. Right? And I hate multi-club ownership. I wish it did not exist. And then conversations like this would never exist. But the Premier League opened the door and let the Wolves in. UEFA opened the door and let the Wolves in. And of course, lots of you are going to be saying, what? Sam, hold on here. How did RB Leipzig sign Sesko from RB Salzburg? Which is a fair question. And it's because of the timing of this. This is basically what it is. You can see, and you know what, right? I wonder if Salzburg and Leipzig knew that this rule change was coming in. Because you can see when this was announced, 9th of August 2022, and he was going to join them at the start of the 23-24 season. So maybe Leipzig and Salzburg knew that this rule change was coming in July 2023. Or maybe not. I don't know. It might be coincidence. Anyway, the rule change was this. Scroll down. As proof of their independence, all clubs involved have agreed to the following conditions. That clubs will not transfer players between themselves, either permanently or on loan, directly or indirectly. I'm going to emphasize the word indirectly. Indirectly. Until September 2024. That's the reason that Manchester United, apparently as it stands, cannot sign Todibo. Indirectly. Welcome to the bullshit of modern football. And this isn't just about modern football, right? This is how capitalism works at the very top. This is how rich people get away with stuff all the time. All right? They look at a rule and they don't go, oh, that's the rule. Okay. They pick up the phone and they speak to their lawyer who costs 10 grand an hour. And they say, this is the rule that's come in. Find me a way that I can get around it. Give me an advantage over other people. That's what expensive lawyers do. With a fine-tooth comb, they will go through every document. So here, right, of course, Savio. Manchester City have signed Savio. To go back to the ruling here, okay? I'm just going to zoom in. I'm just going to get rid of all of this. Let me just do this here, right? Directly or indirectly. I mean, I don't know how much more direct you want to get than this, but okay. Directly or indirectly. So you've got Savio, who's joining Man City this summer. And by the way, Fabrizio Romano himself saying he's been signed from Girona. Of course, this is where the City have found their loophole, right? So Savio was on loan to Girona from Troyes, who, by the way, let's have a quick look at the City Football Group and all the clubs that they own directly. Scroll down, scroll down. Oh, who's that? That's Troyes. Who else does City have a kind of majority ownership of? Ah, Girona. So, City have just signed a player who was on loan from a club they own to another club that they have a majority. I don't know whether it's a majority stake in, but they've got a massive stake in Girona, and they've signed him from Girona. But because he's a Troyes player on paper, that means that even though Girona and Man City are in the Champions League next season, it's fine. Okay. Lee Welch down there. Troyes aren't in the Champions League, so City can sign him and the rule doesn't count. It's not rocket science. I mean, get to fuck, mate. Oh, yeah, it's not rocket science. Yeah, perfect. It is just another... It's just a loophole. And it's bollocks. I want to see... Announced tomorrow, Jean-Clair Todibo has joined Lausanne on... Well, he's just joined Lausanne, right? Apparently, City own 47% of Girona, right? So I want to see Nice announcing that he has joined Lausanne on a permanent deal. Oh, good move. Congratulations. And then Man United can just sign him on loan, on a season-long loan from Lausanne. There you go. There you go. Anyway, I'm not going to answer to you anymore in the comments. I'm getting irate about this because this is just the bollocks of modern football. And how Man City can navigate their ways around the same rules that every other team are trying to abide by. And when they get caught, absolutely nothing happens. It's just boring. It's really boring. As I said, I would love to see... I mean, I don't think Ratcliffe would go... I say Ratcliffe. I don't think Ineos would go straight into like a butting heads match with UEFA and do what I said there. Sell Todibo from Nice to Lausanne and then just sign him on loan from Lausanne for the season. Technically, according to the rules, in quotation marks, that wouldn't be breaching anything. Apart from the fact that directly or indirectly, it's absolutely the exact same thing. And it's just tiring, man. It's just tiring. At some point, City have to get found out. Or maybe not. As I said, this isn't to do with football. This is just capitalism. This is the rich finding ways around the same rules that everybody else has to abide by because they don't have lawyers expensive enough to find those routes through the rules. That's what their lawyers are there for. Not for not for legality reasons, for making sure that we can do whatever we can illegally, but not quite illegally. Grey area, whatever you want to call it, man. It just infuriates me. And it's just another example of football going away from what football was. Multi-club ownership models should be banned. Just straight up banned. But there's no way they'll do that. Because of the power that these clubs now have. Like, I don't even know where the HQ of football is anymore. I don't know who's in charge. I don't know who's in control. It's supposedly UEFA. Yeah. Okay. Supposedly FIFA. Okay. Supposedly the Premier League. By the way, we're still waiting on that response to find out if City are successful in suing the Premier League. And if they are, then City are in control of the Premier League, man. I'm going to go down and read some of your comments out, Dennis. I know I'm ranting about it, but it's just... It's like the government. It's like one rule for us and one rule for everybody else. As long as you've got lawyers expensive enough to find the loopholes and you're willing to go down that path, then you can do pretty much whatever you want in football or in anything else. 115 charges? Nah, it's fine. Let's just try and get the rule banned that we've broken. Yeah, nice. Yeah, great. Someone sent a super chat there. Let me read this out. Araneka, you're saying Edson Alvarez and Martinez were best friends at Ajax, same passion and work rate. Can you look at the interview they did 3 years ago? I'll speak about Alvarez a little bit later on, but it's a weird one. It's a weird one. It's like, I thought we've kind of got past this point. Akash, you're saying, hi, Sam. The Jean-Clair Todibo deal was labelled as an easy deal since the Ineos takeover. Jim Ratcliffe is drawing a line in the sand by not selling Nice as well. Sticking. It's just frustrating, man. Like, Todibo looked like genuinely is a transfer that could happen at a relatively low price for a very good player in an exact position where we need to sign him. It's just, and now we can't do it. And now instead of Jean-Clair Todibo, we're going to have to be looking, well, if these rules are indeed the same and they don't change, and I doubt they will, then who are we going to get as right centre-back? Obviously, we've been linked with Lenny Yoro, but he's probably going to be joining Real Madrid. What are the right side of centre-backs we've been linked with? Let's have a quick look. Mark Gahey, we're not going to get him because he's going to be like 65 mil. Mateus de Ligt could be a possibility. Max Kilman, I think West Ham are getting linked with him now. Calafiori, we're not being particularly linked with. Luchumi, he played left centre-back for Bologna. Tapsoba? Meh. Inacio, I think, is the right-sided centre-back. Bremer's a right-sided... I mean, there's others in the market, but it's just frustrating, man. Yeah, Branthwaite may well play right centre-back as well. I don't know. I'm going to read some of your comments out down there. Jonathan saying, I think he'll sell Nice further down the line. Maybe, maybe not. Ineos should have sold him in Feb to Lausanne. The thing is, right, this rule came out in 2023. So why is it only a conversation now? Surely this was well known for a long time. I mean, you'd think so. It's quite an obvious rule. But how is it only a problem now? Surely that would have been a problem right at the start of the window. I don't know. But before we move on, and we moan about modern football a little bit more, mate, it's the main man himself. Nuruddin, you know what I was trying to do this morning? I was trying to set up a little button so I could bring some fireworks up on the screen, but I couldn't get it done in time because I want to get a little special thing for you because just consistently, you are such a core part of why I've been able to keep improving United People's TV. You've gifted 50 memberships again. Love you, man. Thank you so much for your continued support. And for everybody else, say a big up to Nuruddin. And I've changed the video. So, if the FA Cup want to say this is copyright, then screw them. Come on. Oh, by the way, I haven't even mentioned this. What do you reckon of that bad boy? Stan Chow, that is definitely one of my favourite ones that he has done. Now, I've reached out to Stan because I said, you know what would be awesome? It would be if we could do a collab on United People's TV. And he really wants to do it, but as it stands now, Stan Chow is a little bit too busy. But hopefully at some point, maybe next season, I don't know, right? Hopefully at some point next season, maybe we can get a collab between United People's TV and Stan Chow, the artist who's done all of these. I must be propping up Stan Chow because I've got about 15, 16, maybe even more actually, of his piece of art. But that one's a class one. That one really is a class one. Big up to you, Nuruddin, man. And he sent a super chat as well. Love you too, Sam, and the whole community. Big up United People's TV. This next season's coming up. I can't wait for it. But apparently, not with Jean-Clair Todibo. I wonder if... I'll ask you in the comments here, right? Type yes or no. Do you think that Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos, do you think they'll be sort of... do you think they will be... now trying to explore a loophole? Because Ineos would then effectively step in towards what I hate City for, which is very frustrating. But it's one of those situations where you look at this and you think, well, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's where there's going to be a split of opinion. Brian, you're saying, isn't Girona and City playing in the same European competition this season? Absolutely. But despite the fact that it's just such a crappy, obvious loophole, indirect or indirect, by their own wording, right? Direct or indirect. That's the thing that's annoying me. It's written right there in the rules. What's more indirect than City signing Savio, who's on loan at a club that they own, who is owned by a club that they also own, and they can do that? Don't even think he ever played a minute, by the way, for Troyes. I think he only played for Girona. It just reeks. Absolutely reeks. Yeah, and I think I agree with you down there. And I can see lots and lots of you sending in. Elroy and King, Linton, you don't think that Ineos will do anything in terms of finding a loophole. Stereo, Mail Stormy, Derek, KK, Alex, you all think yes. I disagree. I don't think they will. Because it would just put Ineos in the exact same category as City. And I don't want us to do that. Personal opinion, all right? It's just bollocks. It really is. And rules aren't rules. They're just ways for rich people to spend more money to get around those rules, whilst everybody else just sits and looks at the rule. Anyway, as I said, my video at lunchtime today is going to be on that Jim Ratcliffe interview. So this quote came out of that Jim Ratcliffe interview. We spoke about the Todibo transfer, but there is a lot more in there. He speaks about the ambitions to match Real Madrid. Manchester United don't have a player who's over 100 million, who's worth over 100 million euros. Speaks about the way that football is going and gone. Speaks about other plans and ambitions and summer signings and transfers. It'll be a really good video. I think you'll like it. So make sure you check that out. Jason, you say, could they cancel his contract and we sign him on a free? I mean, they could, in theory. And that'll be exactly the indirect. I just don't think that. I don't think that Ineos would want to go down that path. But I might be wrong. I might be wrong. It's just football, man. I love watching the game. I hate so much around it now. They say keep politics out of football. Now, football's becoming more political by the day. More about power and relationships and what you can do and what you can't do and regulations. And it's just getting less about the actual 90 minutes of football, more around about everything around it. And that's probably why I don't like it. Manoy, how you doing? There's a couple of you sent some super chats. I'll read them out. You're saying, I believe UEFA's rule here is that we also will play in the same Euro tournament next year if we haven't qualified for the Europa League. That's all good. It's just, man, no matter which way you describe it, man. It's just crap. Connor, you're saying there is nothing City would do that Ineos wouldn't. Sadly, they are mega rich. Rules mean nothing to them. An ethical billionaire has never existed. Now, that part I'll definitely agree with, Connor. Billionaires for a reason. It's not because they're nice people. It's because they found a way to the top. Sometimes that's through grit and rigor and all the words that Ineos are using, but also at the same time, you're going to be stamping on some people's heads. That's how billionaires exist. Chris, you're saying sell Todibo to one of the clubs managed by our ex-players and then resell him to us in January. There are quite obvious ways you could get around it if Ineos wanted to go down that path. I just don't think they will. And I'll be honest, I don't think they should. And I wouldn't want Manchester United to do that. I want United to be better than the things that I'm angry about, rather than, and again, that's why part of me was fundamentally against state ownership, because I've argued against it for so long. So long. So that's why there was a core part of me that was just so against it. And in the exact same way here, I can't be angry at City for navigating their ways around the rules with loopholes and then want my club to navigate around the rules with loopholes. It's just, I'll be immediately contradicting myself. And I wouldn't want to do that. But by the looks of it, it doesn't mean we're going to miss out on Todibo. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. You could say it's money laundering. Yeah, just taking... It's like Chelsea selling a hotel to a sister company. And therefore, they can put it on their books that they've sold something that's worth 75 million. But they haven't. They've just moved it from one savings account to another savings account. Chelsea and City are the exact same. And I hope they both crash and burn. But I don't want Manchester United to do that. It might mean that others get advantage, and others have had advantage for years, right? We'll find our way back to the top. And we don't have to do it by hook or crook. Personal opinion. Anyway, second part of the show. Now that it was only a 2-minute moan. It wasn't. It was more than a 2-minute moan, but I just dislike it quite a lot. We're going to move on to talk about transfers. We'll talk about Greenwood. Talk about what else? Who else we got in here? Greenwood, Elise, Casemiro, Alvarez. Alvarez is a bit of a weird one. I don't know, but if you can, just drop a like on the video, and let's start the second part of the show. One more question there from the last one. Does this put out negotiating position with Everton? Does this put us in a weaker negotiating position with Everton for Branthwaite? I don't know. I mean, possibly, but I'll just ran through all the different centre backs that we've been linked with. It's a very centre back heavy market. That's probably the best thing at the end. It's like missing out on Todibo doesn't mean we're going to have a bad summer, right? Anyway. One of the most important transfers that Manchester United can complete this summer is selling Mason Greenwood for good money and for good profit. It's so important that this happens. And a bit of a big update on that yesterday. Coming from Sammy Mockbell from the Daily Mail first. Lazio are opening talks with Manchester United over a summer move. And it was corroborated by Paul Joyce and Charlotte Dunker from The Times. All right, I'm going to run through this article and just see what's being reported. But Man United are in talks with Lazio over a 30 million deal for Mason Greenwood. 30 million plus, by the way. All right. United are in talks over the transfer. United want about 40 million for him. It's understood that Lazio are likely to add performance-related add-ons in their bid. But Juve have been linked. Napoli have been linked. Who else has been linked? Obviously, Getafe have been linked again. I don't know who else in... I don't know who else. Anyway, yeah, Lazio wanted to take him on loan. Lazio, it seems like the perfect fit for him. The reason that the Greenwood... Valencia, that's another one he was linked with. Thank you. We all know that the reason why Greenwood's sale is more important than others is because he's an academy product and because of the way that football now works and PSR rules, an academy product and you sell and it's 100% profit, it counts for like double transfer. Basically, it's double money against your books. So, for a few things with this. First of all, it's really good that it kind of feels we're in a position where Manchester United are going to have a pretty good amount of leverage and negotiation over Greenwood. Juve have been linked with him. Napoli have been linked with him. Lazio have been linked with him. Valencia have been linked with him. United should be able to drive up the price a bit here. And also probably a sell-on. If I'm thinking a deal that I would be happy with, I would be happy with a 30 million up front, rising to 40 million with add-ons, and probably a 20% sell-on fee. In my opinion, that would strike me as a good deal for Manchester United. For a player who is not going to be playing for us ever again. So 30 million up front, rising to 40 based on performances and bonuses and stuff like that. And a 20% sell-on. I think the sell-on's quite important as well. Joe, you're saying he's worth 100 million. On paper, he's worth 100 million. Yes, but he's not worth 100 million for Manchester United in this market. Yeah, 20% might be high, but who was it that agreed? Who was it? 20% is quite standard, isn't it? Somewhere between 10 and 20%, and I would push for 20. I think Carlisle have got a 15% sell-on for Branthwaite, for example. Right? So, yeah, I would go for 20%. But it's good news, all right? This is going to be a really important one for Manchester United to do. Right, someone's saying Calafiori's got a 50% sell-on clause. Jeez, who'd they get him from? Anyway, 20%, I would say. Someone there saying 50% sell-on clause for Premier League teams. Yeah, good luck getting that one into a contract. You ain't getting that. Anyway, Greenwood leaving, good. Money coming in, good. And the second biggest exit is Jadon Sancho. And a little bit, there's not a direct update on him, but an indirect update is this. Cheapskates Borussia Dortmund didn't want to pay the £35 million release clause for Maatsen. Sevilla did. All right. And a little bit more. So that I didn't actually realise that the 35 million release clause was specifically for Dortmund. So that was like, you sign him on loan for the season. If you want him at the end of the season, then you can have him for 35 million. So that's fallen through. Cheapskates, Dortmund, they didn't want to pay the money for Maatsen. They haven't signed him. That now means that Sancho's gone up at the in terms of the priority list because Maatsen's now off it. Issue is, of course, price. All right. Dortmund are going to come to the table with like almost an embarrassing offer. I imagine the first offer from Dortmund is going to be on loan for the full season with a little bit of a fee and an option to buy him for like 20, 25 million. It's going to be like paltry. It's going to be the similar way to Manchester United putting in 35 million for Branthwaite. We knew that wasn't going to get accepted. All right. But Dortmund are going to cheap out hard on trying to bring Sancho back. And they might not even do it. They might not even do it. I'm curious to know how Dortmund, after selling the likes of Bellingham and Haaland and all the other expensive sales that they've made, where does their money go? I think we looked at the profit and loss of Dortmund over the last few years. But it's like, who spends their money? Who spends their money? Don't know. Sell Sancho, says Dark Mountain. You know what I think about Sancho, man. His race is run. Sancho is going to be an old man after his football career, looking back at Man United and going, damn, I wish I approached that differently. He is going to look back at his United time with regret. 100%. But he's made his decision. And, you know, good luck to you elsewhere. But you will regret what you did at United. Even if he doesn't admit it. He absolutely will. Scrooge, Dortmund director. Man, Muppets Christmas Carol. It's my #1 Christmas film. Every year. Guaranteed. That and Home Alone. They're your two guarantees. And Die Hard. Man, it's a lot of Christmas films. And Die Hard is a Christmas film. Don't even come at me. Right? I'm not here for that. Not here for that energy. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Now, this one's a bit of a, really? Jonathan, not really heard much on Donny van der Beek. If we go over here to the whiteboard, we've got Greenwood to Lazio down there, Lindelof to Fenerbahce. Not really heard much on a lot of others. Wan-Bissaka, I think will probably stay. Johnny Evans, I would prefer that he became a coach at Manchester United. I wanted to stay at the club, but I think he should become a coach and become like a 5th or 6th choice that is registered to the club, but ultimately won't play much next year. Harry Maguire, I think, will probably stay. Casemiro, not too much on this. A little conversation here about Casemiro. Van der Beek, nothing. Medjbri, nothing. Eriksen, nothing. I don't know whether United will actually actively push Eriksen out the door. But Sancho, we just had a conversation about. Greenwood, we've just had a conversation about. And Pellistri, he's been linked with Flamengo, but it's not really gone that much further. In terms of this, right, Man United, of course, we need a midfielder this summer. 3 big positions: centre-back, central midfield, striker. Or a forward, depending on which one you want to go for. Hope you enjoyed that Xerxes video I did yesterday, by the way. Let's have a quick conversation about that. Because that bad boy. I really enjoyed that video. If I do say so myself. Like, I can really hope that you can see how much effort is going into leveling this content up. That was a typical lunchtime video, but we got an intro into it. I really worked that. I'm trying to level up everything everywhere all at once. That's a great film, by the way. Have you seen it? Everything Everywhere All at Once? Caught me off guard. First hour, I was like, what is going on in this film? And then I was like, oh, actually, this film's great. And they won all the Oscars. But that was the basic profile of Xerxes. And if it goes to the point where it goes further down the line, we'll actually do a bit of how Xerxes could fit in a Man United, and we'll look more with screen grabs and tactics, taking a look at exactly what player he is at Bologna. But anyway, in the meantime, Fabrizio Romano. saying that Edson Alvarez is one of the options discussed internally, appreciated by Erik ten Hag. And if I had glasses on, I'd just do a bit of that. You know when teachers look over their glass at you? I had that plenty in school. Just you've done something wrong. That's what I would look at this as. Edson Alvarez, man. It's not that Edson Alvarez isn't a bad player. I actually think West Ham have done pretty well signing Edson Alvarez and Mohamed Kudus, both from Ajax. Both good players. But the ship has sailed. First of all, right? First of all, he cost an absolute bucket load. West Ham, you're looking north of 50 mil, I would say, right? North of 50 mil. And no thank you. No thank you. Had Manchester United signed Edson Alvarez from Ajax instead of Anthony, had we signed Kudus instead of Anthony, like hypotheticals and all that, he would have been a good signing. But Ten Hag, man, step away. You are a head coach. And that's why this one's strange. And Erik ten Hag should be, and I've told you this already, there's 2 points where Ten Hag should be involved in a transfer. Point 1 and point 10. Point 1, I need a player of this variety to play this profile. Don't say any names, Erik. None whatsoever. Just tell us the profile you need in this team. We'll do our research. I don't want Erik ten Hag naming any players that he wants to sign for the club. Because boy, have we wasted some money. And it's not where Erik's strengths are. Naturally, he looks towards the players that he has managed and goes, well, actually, I think that player will be a perfect step up. He said that about Anthony. And Anthony was an expensive mistake. So just, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. I've seen it down there in the comments, Akash. I think that's a fair comment there. Well, actually, not really. I suppose it was a little bit. Frenkie de Jong to Edson Alvarez wouldn't have been as much of a U-turn as Frenkie de Jong to Casemiro. I don't think so. Because Edson Alvarez played in that Ajax system, and he played a lot. Who was Edson Alvarez's partner in midfield? I can't remember now off the top of my head. I think it was Schürrle and de Jong in Ten Hag's V1 of Ajax. Oh, my voice went there. V1 of Ajax. And it was Edson Alvarez, but I can't remember who his midfield partner was. Someone let me know in the comments. No, Schürrle was the first one. Alvarez was like the V2. That was when he had Haller up front. Gravenberch. Thank you very much, Poz. It was Gravenberch. Edson Alvarez was the deeper one. Yeah. There you go. Well done. So I actually think Alvarez would have been a more suited signing to Man United than Casemiro would have been. But we didn't go anywhere near him. We just went straight for Casemiro. He could have got Edson Alvarez for... How much did West Ham pay for him? Let's have a look. West Ham sign Alvarez. 35.4 mil. So Man United could probably have got Alvarez for around about half the price that we got Casemiro for. Interesting. Anyway, no. Right? I'm presuming this is just a lazy link more than anything else. Actually, I've probably got to get that on the board, haven't I? Actually, no, did I put it on the board? Of course I put it on the board. I've actually put it down as red. That might be me just being angry towards it. But I put him down there as red. I hope that didn't happen. But no offense to him, he's a good player. This summer has to be different. Right? Erik, man, step away from anything apart from being a head coach. You focus purely on tactics, purely on the players you want in your squad, purely on what happens next season. All right? You're not involved in transfers anymore. You can have a veto on what players we sign in the end. If there's somebody you don't want, then we'll look somewhere else. That's fine. But you can't come to us with a list of names and say, this is who I want to sign. That's the old Man United. That's not the new Man United. And that ain't going to work anymore. Right? Speaking of transfers, as I said, lots to talk about. If you can, please do drop a like on the video. It makes a big difference to the channel. It makes a big, big difference. But Crystal Palace have offered a new deal to Michael Elise. So they did this last summer, all right? Chelsea were sniffing around Elise and they got him to sign a new contract and he stayed at the club. I'd be amazed if Elise did the same thing twice and Palace were able to do the same thing twice to stave off interest. It would no doubt be a higher salary. It would no doubt be an improved release clause. Or maybe it's going to be an internal conversation saying, look, Michael, you're wanted by all these clubs. Can you do Crystal Palace a favour? Can you sign this so your release clause is now bigger? Technically that could happen, but Elise may also be trapping himself inside Palace. I don't think he signs a new contract. I might be wrong. But that would be just incredible from Crystal Palace if 2 summers in a row they got Michael Elise to sign a new contract to stave off interest. I'd be surprised if it happens. So Bayern, of course, been linked. Chelsea have been linked. Chelsea are in talks already. Newcastle have been linked. And Man United have been linked with Elise for a long, long time. However, a centre-back is a bigger priority. A central midfielder is a bigger priority. A central forward, is a bigger priority than a right winger. Hence why Man United aren't actively really moving for Elise just yet. Not to say that we won't. It does kind of feel like we might miss out on him time-wise because I think other clubs have got a bit of an advantage with us. And then, of course, whispers. Mate, Jonathan David. Isn't this a really weird one? Why has nobody ever signed Jonathan David? Because I swear for the last... This must be the 3rd transfer window where people have spoken about Jonathan David as a potential, not just at Manchester United, but for a lot of clubs. And the price is only going down. 25 million being, I swear that was like 50, 60 million last summer. And again, nobody moved for him. I mean, is he that bad? Don't know. Just a bit of a weird one, I think, Jonathan David. Kind of feels like at some point he's probably going to be going to someone like West Ham. Don't know. Apparently had an atrocious World Cup with Canada. Yeah, we'll see. Didn't have the greatest of seasons. I don't know. Just feels a bit weird, doesn't it? Just feels a bit weird. Maybe it's to do with agent fees. I don't know. No club clearly rates Jonathan David high enough to make an aggressive move for him and to try and sign him. I know. I say Canada. It's good fun sometimes. Reminds me of South Park. I used to love South Park. And The Simpsons. I haven't actually watched any new South Parks. I wonder if it's still as good. Because I love the old ones. Damn. Anyway, last couple of minutes of the show. You know full well everyone's getting offended by Canada. For now, I'm just going to call it Canada anytime I mention it down here. All right? Just to annoy you. But fire any questions last couple of minutes of the show. This is just frustrating. All right? It's just frustrating. It really annoys me. The way that football has gone and going and continues to go. And watch here that City, if City successfully sue the Premier League and the associated party transactions, you know, the Emirates sponsoring City and all that jazz, if they win that rule and they can just do whatever they want, then the Premier League is not in control of the Premier League anymore. You may as well move the HQ to City's stadium because it won't be the Premier League anymore. It'll just be City's league because they will not be catchable. They will be able to put in as much money as they want, and they are already, by quite a distance, at the top. I don't think we'll sign Todibo now, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think that I don't want Ineos to do what City have done. The same things that I'm annoyed about, I don't want my club to do just because they can. I want United to be better and to stay away from all that shady stuff, man. Fry-up. What's the most important ingredient in a fry-up? Get it in the comments. What did I say? I would say it's probably between like a top-tier sausage and beans. I would say that's probably the two. What would I go for? Nah, top tier sausage. Top tier sausage. I know bacon, but bacon doesn't have... I love bacon. Hash brown. Love a hash brown. Black pudding. Don't really care for black pudding that much. Jibak, thank you for gifting 5 memberships down there. I do love hash browns, though. Hash browns.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello.
That's me walking into the kitchen on Saturday to make a fry-up. Anybody says mushrooms, somebody ban them from the comments. All right? Somebody ban them from the comments. Who put mushrooms on a breakfast? And mushrooms are all right if you cook them properly. But anybody who leaves like a soggy, moisture-ridden mushroom on my plate, ugh, get in the bin. Get in the bin. If you grill mushrooms properly and you take the moisture out, yeah, that's fine. That's a good mushroom. It's a good mushroom. Other than that, sod mushrooms. Hate mushrooms. Also hate salt and vinegar crisps. Oh, I said that in the WhatsApp group yesterday. I just don't like malt vinegar. All right? Nuruddin, there's 2 different things between mushrooms and shrooms. I've never had shrooms either. I just don't like them. Don't like them. Anyway, sausage, beans, and hash brown. Up there, probably my top 3, I would say. See, this is should we just not talk about football anymore? I think we should just talk about other things. It's more enjoyable. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. If you can, please do drop a like on the video. I enjoyed that show. I don't know who was signing at right centre-back, but apparently it's not going to be Todibo. But it's not as if the centre-back market is bleak. The centre-back market this summer is so ridiculously stacked that Man United could still easily sign 2 very good centre-backs and have a good summer. Just doesn't look like Todibo's going to be here. But look, thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to wrap it up. Today's lunchtime video, as I said, I'm going to be covering this Ratcliffe interview. I'm going to cover all the quotes, all right? So make sure you check that out. That'll be coming a little bit later. Have a great day. And England, just do the job. England to win 3-2. Bellingham to score 2. Rasmus Højlund to score 2. And then... I don't know. Own goal as the winner. There you go.